From the creators of the Wilder board game series, introducing Wilder Serengeti. If you played and loved Wilder Classic, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Wilder is a social deduction game where players are trying to identify animals by their behaviors and work to conserve them. Every player is assigned animals which they will try to get other players to identify by acting their behaviors out on the board. This time, your job as ecologist is to watch, study, and identify animals in the Serengeti. Beware of events such as natural disasters, call for help, and try to protect the animals with the conservation knowledge you've gained. In this game, we tried to strike a balance between people-fun elements and transformative elements. We wanted to make a game that was not too fast-paced, but one that maintained an intense atmosphere which players would remember. We also wanted to touch on some aspects of conservation that people may be less familiar with. Our game provides many meaningful mechanics that inform players about some of the realities of conservation. In each round, players will move all their animals and perform actions on the board according to what the animal's card specifies. They will take notes on other players' animal movements and actions in the hopes of identifying them when the game is over. After each round, they will be faced with two events that will harm animals. They must bid some of their finite conservation tokens to prevent one, and only one of these events. Once the day is over, you're responsible for reporting your findings. Through your study, you and your peers will gather and share your observations. Since no one has fully studied and identified each animal, everyone will get a chance to share their observations and progress. Well, that's certainly one way to report info. Players also get points for other people guessing their animal. This incentivizes them to actually make the animal readable and not hide their behaviors. The game's core gameplay loop is based on one of the most important elements of animal conservation, behavioral observation. The first step to being able to help an animal is observing their behaviors. Many of the species that go extinct are critically under-researched, leaving conservationists with little knowledge of how to best protect them. Another reality of conservation is that there simply is not enough funding to do everything that conservationists would like. Often tough decisions have to be made to reach the least bad outcome. The same is true in our game, when players must choose how to spend their finite conservation tokens to prevent ecological disasters. This game helps players empathize with the struggles of conservationists. Studying endangered animals is the first step to their preservation and conservation. Who's that animal? It's time to thoroughly gather more observations before reaching an informed scientific conclusion. As we progressed through our prototypes, we were able to improve the game's transformative ability. By adding information about the animals to the cards and basing events on real-world issues, we hope to inform people of some of the issues facing animals. We also hope that by playing as the animals, players may form more of a connection with the animals that they're given at the beginning of the game. Of our 8 playtesters, 6 found the game to be transformative and found that they learned something from it. 7 of these playtesters reported that they would potentially or definitely play the game again. Our game went through many versions, with the board and rules changing to follow the fun and make sure the game was suitably transformative. Our board design went through 4 distinct versions as we tried to make it visually clear and appealing. With the board, we went from using a gradient to using flat colors with in-between tiles, to making the in-between tiles patterned, to changing the color palette completely and adding texture for colorblind accessibility. Our rule set evolved over time to patch out loopholes and dominant strategies, and to properly align player incentives. Gather your friends and join today to become the ultimate ecologist in this exciting journey we call Wilder Serengeti. But wait for our special holiday deal. Call now and receive all the contents of your box at no additional cost.